Let me begin with Jimmy Paji. I want to understand from you, Jimmy Paji, what do you think makes the Rohit Sharma squad different from, let's say, the last two editions for India? Because as we just refresh the memory of our viewers, it's not a great memory to have. How is this team different?
No, I think current teams are always different to the past, to be very honest, and because it's a very experienced team. Rohit Sharma himself, a very experienced player, he's played in a number of World Cup earlier, and he's been around. Then Virat Kohli is there, and then many more players are around. And when you have youth and experience together, I think this is what makes all the difference, makes a stronger candidate to win the World Cup, to be very honest. It's not that other teams don't have that. See, everybody's coming here to win the World Cup. England is a good side, Australia and New Zealand, and Pakistan are always, unpredictable side. They can play sometime very good, sometime very poor, for that matter. So I think we have the combination right here. As far as spinners are concerned, it's good to see Bumrah getting back, in fitness and all that thing. Pandya is doing well. So basically, they're all in good form. But it's a fresh tournament. So I think one has to forget what they have achieved, what they have done in the past. So they have to start very fresh. And according to me, the real tournament starts when you get into close to the knockout stages. Because earlier matches, sometimes you have an opportunity to come back. If you lose one, you have the matches to play against poor side and weaker side. So I think we have everything ready, but I think it depends how we play on that particular day. I think they have to be very consistent on each and every game to become the champions.
Karthik, is the fact that, we've chopped and churned our playing 11 a little bit too often, that's been the consistent complaint, or things that maybe have been puzzling the fans a little bit? Do you think that's a bit of a concern for us going in, or do you think now we've settled as much as we could have?
I think that has been a result of a few things. The pandemic was a cause, and then lots of cricket being played, lots of players were getting a lot of breaks. But coming into the tournament, the one thing which you want is consistency in the fact that your squad, your 15 are together, they're playing games together. That's what happened, at least close to the Asia Cup. Yes. Australian series, the first two games, many players got a break. Then even the last game, not everybody turned up together. Look, it's an interesting one. Teams of now will always say, oh, players are playing too much, they need a break. Is that the case? It's a debate for a different day. But do you
know on a given day what playing 11 is going to come out? That's really the criticism, isn't it? You don't really know.
That's because of everybody wanting to get a break. So it's a tough one, isn't it? You've got players good enough to make the playing 11. But there are also others who are getting a break for whatever reasons, whether it's handling the workload management as the word is used nowadays. It's quite a bit of it happening. And that's been happening for the last 2 or 3 years. So
but we're settled now, you think?
I suppose in terms of the squad, we are settled. But in terms of the playing 11, because everybody's been amongst runs, so it's a problem of plenty. And also you want someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav, who was picked in the one-day squad because of his heroics in T20 cricket. And he's got the X factor. So can they fit him in the 11? Personally, for me, I prefer Ishan Kishan as a wicket-keeper, and also for his left-handedness. But I'm pretty sure that KL Rahul will,
maybe
he's a brilliant batter, but as a keeper, I prefer Ishan Kishan. So I would say there's still a few things up for.
So we're going to do that a little bit in detail, because there are a couple of spots where we have the problem of plenty, both as far as the middle order is concerned and of the bowling lineup as well. So I'm going to go to that in just a bit. But Venki, what do you think? Who are India's, if we take for granted that India, of course, is the big contender, who are the other big teams that you think are the ones to watch out for, and why?
Look, there is going to be, Australia, no doubt about it, because of sheer experience and the history that they have playing big tournaments. They're a big team, a team to watch out for in big tournaments. And also there is New Zealand, who's been extremely consistent when it comes to big tournaments as well. So we need to watch out for Australia, New Zealand. England has a good side, there is no doubt about it. But then how well they adapt to the condition, to the situation, I think we need to wait and watch. And there can be, maybe a South Africa, being a fourth team, can be a South Africa, who knows? Because most of the South African players, they play in the IPL. So they understand the condition. They know what is expected of them, in different venues, having played the IPL. So in that sense, I think they can be a contender for the top 4 teams.
They've obviously not played a lot of cricket, South Africa, but as they got into the World Cup cycle, they've certainly made their mark. And maybe, who knows, they're going to enjoy some of the pitches in India because they've been touching 400 and nearabouts quite a few matches. But Graham, I know you're going to back England, no surprises there, but they've got a few issues, isn't it, coming in?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always issues with an England team going into a World Cup. I think the bowling is the main issue. The spinners are fairly good, but they've not done that well in India before, so they want to increase their performance there. The batting, I think, takes care of itself. Stokes going in at 3 is very good for England, and you've got some fantastic explosive players, but I just don't think we're quite there yet, not in India. I do panic about our middle order playing against quality spin on Indian tracks. So I hope they prove me wrong, because obviously as an England fan, I really want England to put up a good showing over.
Now let somebody else get their hands on a trophy.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you're right. It's someone else's turn. Take the pressure off us like that. That's a good way of doing it. But you know, winning tournaments puts a lot of pressure on the next team, because you know, as holders, you want to go out there and try and defend the title. I'd much rather be in India's shoes as favourites right now than England's coming in as underdogs.
Anyone we've missed out, Ayaz, that you think is a good one to watch out for? New Zealand have a few injury concerns as they get in. They're always there and thereabouts, but quite like South Africa, the perennial underachievers. England, Australia, of course, will fancy their chances. These are also teams that come in with a lot of belief, and they have experience in India. Anything we're missing out on? Of course, Pakistan is one of those dark horses as always.
Look, I think everything seems to have fallen into place for India. I mean, you know, if you had asked me about 6-8 weeks back, I would have said there are considerable number of issues, including getting the squad right. I think Ashwin's inclusion, you know, whether the announcement was delayed deliberately, very shrewdly, because remember, if Ashwin had been announced 6-8 weeks back, then a lot of the opposition could have factored in his inclusion and worked out their strategies and even player selection differently. I think that Ashwin's inclusion now allows Dravid and Rohit the flexibility to pack the team, the playing 11, with 3 spinners, 3 fast bowlers, and a very impressive batting lineup. Because we've got 2 world-class all-rounders in Jadeja and Pandya of different types. One is a spinner, the other is a fast bowler. So the team looked extremely strong on paper. Pakistan, I mean, 4, 5, 6 weeks back, they looked very, very strong. They've just gone into some disarray, injuries, etc., etc. But I mean, you know, I think this is a terrific tournament because you've got the 10 best teams, the most experienced, I think, being India, the least experienced Netherlands, and there's a lot of rich talent in between who cannot be taken lightly. I mean, you know, New Zealand struggling a bit. We don't know how fit Kane Williamson is, Tim Southee, issues there. England and Australia are emerging as the strongest along with India, but don't discount South Africa, and you know, because they have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yes, I think for one, I'll put my neck out. I think South Africa is going to be the surprise packet of this World Cup. What do you think, Purli?
Look, they've done exceptionally well against Australia, and what works for them is some of their batters, top order batters have been...
Just the sheer explosiveness that they have.
Yeah, the explosiveness. People like Heinrich Klaassen, who's I think is a wonderful player. And also, don't forget this World Cup, and one of the reasons why 50-over cricket is becoming a bit mundane and boring is the middle overs, where it tends to drift and stall. And it's the team which has got those wicket takers which is going to make a huge difference. So guys like Keshav Maharaj, Tabraiz Shamsi have that ability to bowl in the middle overs and get wickets. And also the kind of bowling that they have in terms of fast bowling. I know Andrik misses out, but Rabada. So they have a good side. It's just one thing which is always going to bother. India, in crucial moments, they've played some frightened cricket. You take the WTC or the semi-finals which you showcased. Or South Africa, you can bring a new pack in, but still that hangover and that tag that they are chokers, does that affect them on crucial days? That's the only thing which is going to be a factor. Apart from that, I think as a side, they've got some wonderful talent.